So good morning and Merry Christmas to anyone I haven't seen yet. It's day 3 of our 12 days of Christmas yoga. Again, I'm going to focus a little bit on space in the hips this morning. Okay, so we might have been, again, I keep going back to it, holding that tension since Stephen's Day off, and it can be either a really active day or it can be a really sitting on the couch and enjoying the movies kind of day. But either way, we're going to be kind of compressing into the hips. So we're going to work a little bit into that space now this morning. So we're going to start again in easy cross-legged. And again, I will encourage you this morning to, even if it doesn't feel so great, to try to place yourself in easy cross-legged. So even if the knees are up here, place a little bit of cushioning underneath the knees, or just bear with the pose just for a couple of minutes. If it's really feeling crampy in the knees themselves, you can always turn the toes toward the knees and that'll take the pressure off the joints, all right? And we're just going to place the hands face down on the knees to start with. Press the chest forward, draw the shoulders back, and then gently lean forward, but from the lower back. So we're trying to keep a nice little long spine here. We should start to feel a nice little release into the lower back and glutes here. So we're just pressing the chest forward. We can actually use those knees as a little bit of leverage to press ourselves forward a little bit more. And then we're going to tuck the belly button in and slowly make our way up to that nice strong seat. And then we'll open the palms and inhale the arms out, reaching up. Interlock fingers, press palms to the ceiling, and then exhale, press the palms forward, stretching through the shoulders. We'll do that 2 more times. So a nice big stretch, really opening the heart, engaging the shoulders. And then exhale, press forward and release. Last one here. Bringing those arms right back in line with the ears. And then exhale, press forward and release. Lovely. We're going to come straight to lie on our mats here this morning. So again, if you have that towel or strap or pillowcase, just have it within reach. We're going to lie back on our mats. Knees are bent, feet are flat to start with, and we're going to really press that lower back into the ground. So we've got no space underneath the lower back. We're going to hug the right knee in. Extend the left foot out fully. Press the way through the left heel, draw the left toe toward the knee, and really engage in that left leg. We're going to place the right hand on the right knee, left hand on the hip, and we're going to start to draw a few nice little circles into the right hip. Now, it doesn't matter what direction, we're going to do both. So we're just gently mobilizing into that space. And then we're going to bring it that we have our fingertips on the knee, so those circles are a little bit larger. Again, keep pressing that lower back into the ground and keep pressing that left hip bone down. And if you feel nice and stable, we're going to bring that right hand to the ground beside us and make those circles as large as we can, incorporating the full length of that right leg into the movement. So really drawing the knee across the body into the chest. So this is a really nice way of mobilizing into the hip joint, particularly if they're really, really tight and a stretch just feels like a little bit too much, or maybe you're recovering from injury. And it's a really nice way of just tuning into where the hip is at. So you'll start to notice if there's any little points of restriction to the movement or any little pains, niggles. We're going to reverse those circles. And hopefully you have a little bit more space than I do. I keep hitting my foot off the couch here. Again, I'll be back to my normal studio tomorrow. Improvise. All right, lovely big circles here. Really exaggerate that movement. And you'll actually start, as those circles continue, you'll start to feel the little muscles around the hip start to fatigue. So you know you're working a wee bit of strength here with the movement, which is great. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to hug that right knee back into the chest. Give it a nice little squeeze. Left hand stays in the shin, right arm extends out in line with the shoulder. We're going to shift the hips to the right and then draw that right leg across the body to the left, come into a nice little spinal twist. Left hand rests on the outer thigh, gaze is over the right fingertips, and we're keeping that right shoulder planted to the ground. So if the right shoulder's coming off, I want you to lift the knee, reattach that shoulder to the ground, and then come back into your twist. We want to twist the full length of the spine here. If you need to, you might need to shift the hips a wee bit more to the right, and then you feel a little bit more ease getting that right leg across the body. Taking some nice big belly breaths here as we inhale through the nose, draw deep into the belly, and as we exhale, squeezing out all that stale air and energy using those core muscles. One more breath here. And then gently inhaling back to center. From here, we're going to reach for our towel or our strap. And we're going to wrap it around the ball of that right foot. I want you to be really conscious if you're recovering from hamstring injuries or if those hamstrings are particularly tight or over lengthened, keep a gentle bend to the knee. We're going to inhale, press the sole of the foot toward the ceiling. And as we exhale, draw the toes toward the face as we press way through the heel. Really tucking those elbows in toward the waist here. And just notice where that stretch is felt. So we should feel it in the lower leg as we draw the toes toward the knee. We should feel it in the hamstring, but just into the center of the hamstring, so the belly of the hamstring, not underneath the kneecap and not up near the sit bone. So if we're feeling it near the joints, chances are that muscle has already been over lengthened. So we don't really want to stretch into it anymore. So a little bend here. We're going to bring the grip into the right hand, extend the left arm out in line with the shoulder, palm down, and then gently release that right foot out to the right. We might bend that right elbow, bring it to the ground, just as a little support, so we can really just enjoy that release into the inner thigh and hip. We might place that left hand on the hip to keep it grounded and take the gaze over the left shoulder. So as we inhale, we're pressing sole of the foot into our towel or strap. And as we exhale, just allow that foot drop out a little bit more. If this feels too intense, you can always use a little prop to rest the foot on. So it could be a chair, it could be a couch, it could be your bed, it could be the wall. And again, you can just actually release into the stretch without feeling that hold. So one more nice big breath here. And then slowly we're going to inhale back to center. Hold the right knee to the chest. We're going to bring that grip a little bit closer to the foot with the right hand. As we inhale, press sole of the foot toward the ceiling. And as we exhale, we're going to draw that right knee down toward the ground beside us. So again, working into that right hip, a little bit into the hamstring. Every inhale, press the sole of the foot toward the ceiling. And every exhale, draw that right knee down. So again, don't force it, just a nice gentle release. Particularly first thing in the morning, we just want to warm up into those joints. Be kind. One more breath. Excellent. From here, we're going to keep that grip. We're going to bend the left knee and we're going to bring the foot flat to the ground. And then we're going to bring that left ankle and rest it just above the right ankle, rest it just above the left knee. So we're coming into our figure 4 here. Again, keep pressing that lower back into the ground. We're drawing the right toe toward the knee and we're pressing the right knee away from the body. And that might be as far as we go here this morning. If you want to join me, we're going to lift the left foot off the ground, bringing the shin almost parallel to the ceiling. And here we can either interlock the hands around the back of that left hamstring. So you're going to start to feel a release into that right glute. Stay here if it feels good. If you find you're coming off the lower back or you're rolling into the chest, reach for your towel or strap. You can wrap it around the back of that hamstring. And it just acts as a little extension of the arm so we can access that same space in the hips. So every inhale, I want you to think about walking the shoulder blades together, lengthening and connecting the spine to the ground. And as we exhale, we're working the right knee away as we draw the left knee toward the body. So keep that right foot nice and engaged. We shouldn't be feeling this in the right knee joint. So if we can keep those lower legs active. And again, we're just releasing into that right hip and glute. So this is a lovely one to work into the hips. It's also, if you suffer from sciatica, so nerve pain, it's a lovely way of releasing the soft tissue around the nerve. It's not going to cure it, but it should definitely help alleviate some of those symptoms. Try to relax the shoulders back. So we have a tendency to hold our breath in this pose. I want you to really release into it for one more breath. And then gently release the towel if we have it. Release the left foot, release the right foot to meet it. We're going to hug the left knee in, give it a nice little squeeze into the chest. Extend that right foot out fully, press away through the heel, draw the toes toward the face. Keeping the left hand on the knee, right hand on the hip, we're going to start to draw those little circles into the left hip. Again, either direction, we'll do both. And then we'll move the fingertips to rest on the knee, making those circles a little bit larger. Again, don't forget to breathe. Just a nice natural breath here, just really tuning into those hips. And then if that feels good, if we feel stable, that lower back is literally stuck to the ground, we're going to place the left hand to the ground beside us and make those circles as large as we can, incorporating the full leg into the movement. So press away through the heel, draw the knee across the body. Try not to kick over any furniture as you do so. So again, nice big circles. And again, even just touching into how does that feel comparing to the other side of the body. So sometimes it's just through these slow broken down movements that we can really touch into the imbalances and maybe pinpoint what's going on, why we're maybe falling on one side more than the other or injuring on one side more than the other. We're going to reverse those circles. So you can really slow down the movement here, really touch into what's going on. Notice if it feels easier, if it's a little bit more restricted. And again, just even these gentle mobilizations into the joints can really help with that recovery. So you're trying to re-educate the muscles into a nice natural range of movement without putting any massive forces apart from the body weight. You know, little ticks and pops and clunks. And again, they're perfectly normal once they're not accompanied by pain and numbness. Okay. When you're ready, we're going to hug the left knee in, right hand rests the shin, left arm extends out in line with the shoulder. We're going to shift the hips to the left this time. Draw that left leg across the body to the right, taking the gaze over the left shoulder. We're going to rest the right hand on the outer thigh. We might need to shift the hips a little bit more to the left. So ideally, that left hip is sitting on top of the right, and both hips are centered down the midline of the mat. So we should be able to actually look down and see the chest and hip in a nice straight line. So we're not lying sideways across the mat. We're going to inhale, draw a nice big belly breath. And as we exhale, see if we can twist a little bit more into that spine. And again, we're always going to start that twist in the lower back and move it up toward the neck. So starting in the place of least movement. One more breath here. And then slowly inhale back to center. Keep hugging that left knee in. We're going to reach for our towel or strap. We're going to wrap it around the ball of that left foot. Inhale, press sole of the foot up toward the ceiling. And as we exhale, draw the toes toward the face, keeping those elbows tucked in. I often find, like the yoga straps are great, but I often find where we have a pose like this, we want a good kind of surface area of the foot to be involved. The towel sometimes works better. So we're not kind of fighting, keeping that strap in place, and we can really just enjoy that release in the body. Again, notice where the stretch is in the hamstring. It should just be in the belly of the muscle. We're not going to stay here for too long. I want to work into those hips. So we're going to bring the grip into the left hand, extend the right arm out in line with the shoulder, and then gently release that left foot out to the left. Taking the gaze over the right shoulder, we're pressed away through the left heel, we're drawing the toes toward the face. If you find that right hip is coming off the ground, you can always place the right hand there. So I'm actually using that nice prop here on this side. I've got my foot rested against the couch. So essentially I can just really relax and release into the pose. So it makes it a little bit more restorative. And again, if you're afraid of going too deep, it's sometimes a nice way of still getting the stretch, but not overstretching. And again, just nice big belly breaths here, in and out through the nose. Every exhale, allow ourselves relax a little bit more into that space. If the foot's out, we might have that left elbow on the ground. It just allows a little bit of support so we can really enjoy that space. One more breath. And then slowly inhale back to center. We're going to bend the left knee into the chest, bring the grip a little bit closer to the foot. As we inhale, press sole of the foot toward the ceiling. And as we exhale, draw that left knee down toward the ground beside us. So we're getting a nice little half happy baby here. Inhale, press up as we engage. Exhale, draw down as we release. 2 more breaths here. One more. Again, don't force it, just go as deep as feels good. Staying here for a moment, we're going to bend the right knee, bring the foot flat to the ground. We're going to rest the left ankle just above the right knee. We can rest the tail off to the side here. So coming into our figure 4, right foot is planted, left toe drawn toward the left knee, press the left knee away from the body and really ground that lower back into the mat. Again, this might be as far as we go this morning. If that feels good, we're getting a nice little release. If you want to go a little bit further, we're going to lift the right foot off the ground, shin parallel to the ceiling, and either interlocking fingers or towel around the back of that right hamstring. See if we can walk those shoulder blades together, really opening into the heart space. And as we exhale, we're working the right knee a little bit closer as we continue to press the left knee away from the body. And again, notice if we started to crunch into the chest, keep trying to sink those shoulders back. So although we're working into space in the hips, we want to keep maintaining that lovely space and stretch across the chest into the heart. Relax the breath. Every exhale, allow ourselves to relax a little bit more into the pose. And again, if it feels too much at any stage, feel free to drop that right foot down, so don't force it. Particularly if you haven't been doing these movements before. So I'm just here to guide you. Your body's going to be your best teacher. One more breath. And then slowly release the right foot down. We're going to release the left foot down to meet it, and then hug both knees into the chest. Give them a nice little squeeze. Crisscross it up the ankles. Options here to make your way anyway to seat, or if you want to join me, we're going to rock and roll forward and back along the mat. So using the motion to massage the full end of the spine into the ground, using that core connection to draw ourselves forward into seat. And finally, we're going to meet in a nice strong seat at the front of the mat. Turning to finish our practice this morning. So very mat-based practice this morning. We'll get a little bit more active tomorrow. A nice way just to ease out those hips. So coming back to either easy cross-legged or any seat that feels good for you. Sitting nice and tall, nice and strong, hopefully feeling a tiny little bit more space into those hip flexors. And we're going to open the palms to the ceiling. And when you're ready, inhale the arms out, reaching up. Interlock fingers, press palms to the ceiling. As we exhale, press the palms forward, release the breath, side out and let it go. We do that 2 more times. Nice big stretch. And release. And then slowly bring the hands to heart, close down the eyes, press the palms together, and just thank yourselves for creating a little bit of space in your morning to come to the mat, to look after yourselves, to create some lovely energy, some lovely space, and hopefully bring that with you into the day ahead. And thank you for sharing your energy with me. Namaste.